Sure, a lot of great games came out in 2019, but these stick out like a sore thumb. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst games of 2019. For this list, we're looking at the games that made us ask, what in the absolute hell went wrong here? And boy, there were a lot of them.
Can you guys believe that's even possible? That's some future tech stuff right here.
Number 10, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. While the gunplay is satisfying, there is a lot wrong with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Its open-world looter-shooter formula shows an experience that is all too tiring given how saturated the market has become with similar titles like Destiny, Borderlands 3, and even Ubisoft's own Division 2, which launched earlier this year. The combat doesn't offer much of a challenge, as most of the AI will be too cowardly to shoot at you, forcing things to become an extensive stalemate. On top of that, vehicles are frustrating to control, the game is riddled with bugs, and it's so bloated with content that it truly feels like the game will never end. Number 9, Dangerous Driving. A new racing game from the original team behind the Burnout franchise? Sign us up, is what we'd say, but only if the game turned out decent. Instead of being decent, where Dangerous Driving wound up was in a burning car crash left on the side of the road. Literally. Much of your time will be spent sliding and thrashing about everywhere as you try to fight the terrible controls, and it doesn't help that the car crashes look more like flaming cardboard boxes. Plus, in this day and age, how do you ship a game with no online multiplayer? That's just baffling. Number 8, Mario Kart Tour. For years, we've been longing to play something like Mario Kart on our phones. Alas, this turned out to be a lesson in be careful what you wish for, because Mario Kart Tour turned out to be Nintendo's Candy Crush saga. Manipulative and heavily monetized, Mario Kart Tour wants all of your time and money without much reward. Spend $20 to unlock Mario, buy more rubies to get more karts, pay the monthly subscription to get more challenges to earn more rewards. To make matters worse, the game tries to make you think you're racing against other people by giving usernames to bots. This could have been Nintendo's best mobile outing, but that seems to be nothing more than a pipe dream. Number 7, Crackdown 3.
Keep hitting those containment tanks.
This was Xbox's chance to win back some of its fanbase after canceling a hefty number of its first-party titles. Rest in peace, Scalebound. Unfortunately, Crackdown 3 was just proof that Xbox has really lost its way this generation. Those 12 years of development are obvious due to the outdated design and lackluster visuals. The story is short, bland, and predictable to the point where it becomes mind-numbing. Even with its multiplayer, Crackdown 3 gives you more reasons to leave than there are to stay, which is something we really shouldn't be saying about a game that features Terry Crews. If only he was used more and had a more explosive plot to work with. Number 6, Eternity: The Last Unicorn.
One by one, the living beings began to disappear, began to die.
We aren't sure why, but there has been an overwhelming number of games trying to copy Dark Souls' success since the franchise's last iteration in 2016. While we've had some great Souls-like games like Sultan Sanctuary and Blasphemous, Eternity: The Last Unicorn is one of the many clones that's trying way too hard to appeal to its demographics. With graphics that are as outdated as some of its design, Eternity looks like an early PS3 prototype that someone dug up and threw up on digital storefronts. It certainly doesn't help that combat feels like you're swinging a twig at your foes while yelling, "Ha!" Number 5, WWE 2K20.
I think it's pretty clear, guys, that this rivalry has brought out the best in these superstars here tonight.
With their first release in 2000, developer Yuke's had a long time to perfect the formula of WWE video games. But with the studio leaving the franchise, however, it was up to Visual Concepts to step up and bring us another WWE title, and holy crap, this has to be one of the worst WWE games we've ever seen.
The women's revolution has turned into the women's evolution.
Wrestlers look nothing like their real counterparts and more like creepy early 90s CGI. On top of that, WWE 2K20 is littered with bugs and glitches. Seriously, have you seen the compilations? How could anyone pay $60 for this?
Bow to the Queen! Bow down to the Queen! Charlotte, cover! Charlotte does it!
Number 4. Contra Core. At this point, we have to wonder if Pyramid Head is running Konami because the studio has been on a killing spree. Metal Gear is now a zombie survival game, Silent Hill is a slot machine, and now Contra is a sad attempt to be a meme and hip with the kids.
You soiled my arm!
And then there's me, Lily. But you can call me Arrow Captain.
A lot of people had bad vibes about Contra Core when it was announced, and that pessimism was rightfully deserved. Controls are infuriating to deal with, shooting is often inaccurate, and the characters are one-off jokes that overstay their welcome. In other words, Contra has become almost as unrecognizable as that large burning sea on the box art. Number 3. Anthem. Playing Anthem is like looking through an old high school yearbook. You open it up for a few minutes until you begin questioning your life choices and find you've somehow managed to age 5 years. Anthem was supposed to be the beginning of BioWare's redemption arc after the abysmal Mass Effect Andromeda, and yet it somehow managed to be worse with its dull gameplay, floundering story, and forgettable world.
If you want to win a war, presentation is half the battle.
Combat is like watching the world's worst fireworks show, but with an explosion of numbers. And the game was such a technical mess that it caused consoles and PCs everywhere to repeatedly crash. And that's not even getting into the fact that they've completely abandoned their update roadmap.
At some point, I could arrange a meeting with some high-up boss type. Try and fix this?
Bold move. Do it sooner rather than later, okay?
Number 2. Generation Zero. This was one of the biggest surprises to come out in 2019, and that comes with no positive connotation whatsoever. Generation Zero is yet another open world that took just as many lazy shortcuts as Fallout 76, leading you on a wild goose chase to find society in an NPC-ridden land. However, the things you'll encounter most are audio tapes, like Fallout 76, bland environments, like Fallout 76, and moronic AI that have no clue how to defend themselves, like Fallout 76. You get the idea. What's even more disappointing is that this is a game from Avalanche Studios. Yes, that Avalanche Studios, the same folks responsible for the Just Cause series and 2015's Mad Max. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Left Alive.
Enemy troop deployments have changed. Transmitting information to your device.
If you're a fan of the front mission games from the late 90s and mid-2000s, then we're happy to report that those games are still as good as ever. Left Alive, on the other hand, has probably killed any chance of a series revival in the near future, since most of your time will be spent asking, how? How am I supposed to sneak past these guys when every inch I move gives away my position? How can the AI be difficult to take down and yet so stupid?
Caution, body armor damage. Caution, body armor damage worsening.
Enemy spotted!
How could they have placed the checkpoints so far apart? The number of problems that plague Left Alive is astounding, and it's probably best we pretend it never happened.
Now the game is over.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.